There are some times where the stars just have to carry you. I come on here post game, I've talked about, oh, Charles Bassey did this, oh, Keldon Johnson did that. No, tonight it was Chris Paul making big shots. It was Devin Vassell making big shots. It was Jeremy Sochan playing efficient basketball. But most importantly, it was Victor Wembanyama being the best player on the floor. It was Victor Wembanyama being a top 10 player in the game today. I understand, I said it. If you don't think it, if you think it's hyperbolic, I don't care. This is what we're talking about, an overtime win for the San Antonio Spurs, and we are about to discuss all of it here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. If you guys haven't yet, take a spur of the moment to get every Spurs moment moving forward by hitting that subscribe button, and let's just talk about it, and let's just relish in this moment, in the W that we get. An overtime 133-126 victory against the Atlanta Hawks. And in this game, it's twofold. One, we have the Hawks pick for this year. They're a 500 team now. They're 14-14. The worse they are, the better pick that we get, or better chance that we get for a higher pick. So let's hope that they're bad. We want them to be bad. Though so far, they have been a team with a lot of grit, energy, effort, and they've been playing some pretty solid basketball this year. Tre Jones does what he does best and loves to sun the Knicks in the Reggie Miller way that he tries to. But, okay, that's fine. They're a solid team. They're a team that could go up and down. They could either stay 500, be a little above 500, a little below. And so anytime we can beat them with the 2 times we play them a year, let's go out there and get a W against them. Love everything about it. But as you see, an efficient Jeremy Sochan, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. You've got Victor Wembanyama, of course, 42 points on the night, 4 emphatic blocks, especially the one towards the end. The thing that I love with Victor Wembanyama, the one thing that just sticks out is I was talking on the last show that I did, talking about how Jeremy Sochan right now is the villain of the team, and that's perfectly fine, and every team needs a villain. Someone mentioned in the comments Bruce Bowen talking about the Spurs because I didn't bring his name up, even though he's more than correct. Absolutely. Bruce Bowen, Draymond Green, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer. The list goes on and on for whatever team you want to talk about. Championship teams all have an enforcer on it. And how Jeremy Sochan has turned into that villain guy, the one that's not afraid. But I know Wemby is frail in body size, but it's not in his ego, and he is not in his character, because this man is not afraid to go toe-to-toe, talk to anybody. Doesn't matter if it's a star, a bench player, whatnot. He just loves competing and loves the game of basketball, and when he does this, and when you see this from him, you just see extraordinary. Big threes down the stretch, big plays down the stretch, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, making his free throws, unlike Tre Jones did towards the end of that game. I mean, you had them going back and forth. Devin Vassell hits a big 3 down the stretch, and they go back down. DeAndre Hunter's making plays, but then you got Chris Paul making big threes, makes a big 3 to end the game, or to help propel the game to go to overtime, and then to seal the deal to really give it the 133-126 lead, which is where the game ended. You saw a lot from this roster, and finally you got Devin Vassell inserted into the starting lineup. He got rhythm. He was 5 of 7 from 3, and that is something that you're going to need. This starting 5 here is going to be the starting 5 you're going to see, I believe, for the remainder of the year. Julian Champagnie is going to have to kind of find his groove again coming off of the bench, obviously, because he's been starting for so long this year, and that's perfectly fine. We can definitely tweak that, and he'll be able to find his way. Stephon Castle, same thing with him too, because a lot of the year he has been starting due to the injury to Vassell, to the injury of Jeremy Sochan. So they're going to just have to find their cohesion as a bench unit in totality in the second half, especially Champagnie and especially Castle, who are 2 guys who have been perpetually in the starting lineup this year, comparatively to them being on the bench, which we thought the role would be relegated to that early on in the season, but injuries, of course, have come along. We didn't expect Sochan, and obviously Vassell kind of has missed a little bit more time than even we had thought coming into the season. But That being said, that's a side note, and that can be another topic talking about this. Devin Vassell's in the starting lineup, so your three best players are all starting, and they're all healthy, and they're all looking good. They have a break, you've got time, and then you've got Wemby has 42, Sochan has 20, Vassell has 23, in a big, massive win over the Atlanta Hawks. And this is just as big just because you continue to get into the win column and you continue to pile up these W's against teams that you need to. And again, sometimes it's about the Tre Jones. He didn't do much. Sometimes it's about the Charles Bassey. Didn't play much. Didn't do much. Plus, minus, -7. Typically with him, he's a plus. Stephon Castle, the rookie, looked at rookie-ish. He played fine, but he looked a little bit rookie-ish. Julian Champagne, it doesn't matter. Today was about the starting five, was about the guys. You had Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes helping close out the game. Chris Paul, who only had himself 4 field goals, but he made all of them, including 3 threes. He played the quintessential point guard game today, trying to get everybody involved. A little high on the turnovers, but he was a plus 17 on the floor. This game was about the best players on this roster. It's starting with a top 10 guy in the league today. I don't care who you're talking to or what you're saying. Maybe for one game you're like, okay, you've got other guys, but no. He is top 10. He is top 10. And maybe in the next video that I do, we go through this because you've got Jokic, Giannis, Luka, you've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Ja Morant's trying to climb his way back there if he can stay healthy. Obviously, you still got the old guys, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph, depending on how you value them, Anthony Davis, the way he's been playing this year. Obviously, people like Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, who are trying to assert themselves into the next level. Jason Tatum, of course, finals champion. Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker. There's so many great players in this league, but you can't talk about all of those guys there without mentioning Victor Wembanyama's name. He is only 20 years old. He is only in his second year, and he is showcasing why he is going to be the future of the NBA. He is the future of the NBA. San Antonio, we don't just have a superstar. We don't just have a supernova. We have the face of the NBA coming on this roster here, and he is here to stay because he doesn't just have the talent. He doesn't just have... All your faces of the NBA do something at a supremely high level that we have never seen before to a certain extent. From Shaq to Kobe to Mike to Curry to LeBron to Kareem to Bird to Magic to Dr. J to Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, George Mikan, any guy you want to go through who has been a true face of the game at their time. They did something that we had never seen before. Doesn't matter who. Could be to the lower, could be to the higher, could be the body type, could be how they played the game, what they did on the floor, how they did it on the floor, the icon that they were. Even Allen Iverson, who was a lesser style face, just the swagger he had on the court. Victor Wembanyama, we've never seen an alien like this before going out there and playing. You need to be special and different to be at his level, and that is what he is. 37 minutes, 42 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks. Not even stat line crazy, but what it is him showcasing why he is this team's future in the league's future. Across the board, pretty much even down the line. The only thing, the Hawks definitely got him in field throw percentage, rebounds there as well, but assists were the same, steals were similar, turnovers, they got a couple more turnovers, so the game was close, and there was a reason why it went into overtime. And when it comes to those games, it comes down to those little plays. Who is going to be better than who? And we have the best player on the floor, Trae Young, short of the second. Who's the third best player on the floor? Jeremy Sochan. Who's the fourth? You want to say DeAndre Hunter was tonight, cool, but overall, it would be Devin Vassell. We have the better players than the Atlanta Hawks. We showed that tonight, and we showed that down the stretch we are able to get it done. And in these close games, as Jeremy Sochan said, Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul are two guys who help them in these close games that you don't typically get before. You didn't get this before because you didn't have this kind of veteran presence and veteran leadership. This team can truly do something in the playoffs, in the play-in. They got to get there. It's going to be tough to get there, but they can truly do something. They can go upset around for a team. Is this a championship team right now? No. That's fine. They're not a championship team right now. They still have a lot to learn, a lot to prove. I understand that, and I understand that some fans would be like, no, don't short sell. They can go play. And others are like, don't do too much with this win. It's one win. But there are reasons why you get excited over these things. You have to watch the games. It's 82 games. You have to take away from these games. This was a big moment, and they got a big W after it. And so Spurs victory here. It was about the Stars tonight. The Stars came out shining in San Antonio. They really put the star on the back of the boot in San Antonio tonight. But let me know what you guys thought about the game in the comments. How do you feel about this team? How do you feel about Victor Wembanyama? Is he top 10? And if he's not, please give me the 10 that you would have before him, and I want to know why. But is Victor Wembanyama top 10? Let me know. This has been Keenan Warner. This has been Spurs Digest. We appreciate all of you guys. Thank you very much for watching, for subscribing, for talking, to listening, all the great stuff that you guys do. The interactions have been phenomenal. They continue to be, and I hope they continue to grow as we do. But this has been Spurs Digest again, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will be seeing all of you guys very soon.